Lightworker, Part 3. Lightworkers incarnating on Earth. When you incarnated on Earth, you had just started the transition from an ego-based to a heart-based consciousness. We have sketched this transition as consisting of 4 steps. You took the first step when you became aware of your longing for something else, something different from the struggle for power that filled your lives before. That struggle provided your lives with purpose and meaning for a substantial period of time. Your fascination with power led you to use the human beings as a straw puppet in your galactic battles. All galactic empires were part of this, but when the warring energies were transposed to Earth with man as their playground, you became more of an observer, and you withdrew from direct battles. You watched what took place on Earth. You saw the human being develop into something, a state of being you had reached long before. You had become sophisticated warriors with refined methods of psychic manipulation and warfare. Man was to become the same, with your genetic implants in place. These genetic implants caused a high level of mental development within the human being. The functions of natural instinct and feeling were more or less suppressed in favor of the function of thinking and reasoning. We mentioned that the galactic influences caused a high level of fear within the developing human. In fact, this element of fear was closely connected with the overemphasis on thinking. In a balanced situation, fear is overcome or put into perspective by your natural, intuitive skills and your ability to feel what is right or appropriate to do. However, when the faculty of thinking gets the upper hand, fear tends to be reinforced, since thinking relies on a mechanical, logical process that does not allow intuition or feeling to enter the process. When the mental faculty is fed by the emotions of fear, it tends to run wild and produce delusional ideas about controlling everything and everyone. Dictatorial regimes are an example of this mental faculty running wild. The answer to fear is never to think more. It is to think less and to trust the flow of life. It is to fall back into the state of grace that is your birthright. It is to release instead of to grab hold. When the stage of ego rule ended within the Lightworker's soul, they opened up a new way of being. You intuitively reached out for the energy of the heart. You were in fact looking for a kind of creativity that transcended the mere play with power. You sensed that the struggle for power was destructive and could not create anything new, since it killed and assimilated everything that was other. By trying to control and dominate life, whether inside you or outside you, you actually tried to make reality static and predictable. Ultimately, power is incredibly boring. When you became aware of this, you realized that your true desire was not to have power, but to be truly creative. To be truly creative is to be in touch with your own divinity. Since you are a divine being, whatever you do or don't do, you are always creating some kind of reality. Creativity is your very nature. In the ego phase, you explored the possibility of denying your true nature. Indeed, this is a creative act at some level, in a twisted kind of way. To be truly creative, however, is to create according to life, not according to death. When this realization dawned upon you, the memory of home awoke. The vague remembrances of a state of pure and blissful oneness entered your consciousness again, and you knew that it was somehow the key to your happiness. But you felt helpless and ignorant, as you had no idea how to go about it. You knew that the ego did not hold the answer, but you had not really entered the realm of heart-based consciousness yet. At the same time, a growing sense of remorse and guilt rose within you about what you had done to human beings on Earth. Especially on Earth, there were splendid opportunities for consciousness to freely express itself in many different ways. Earth was meant to be a unifier of different energies, a melting pot in which differing and even opposing energies could reach a way of coexisting in harmony. The energetic playground of Earth was created to house a very heterogeneous set of energies. The difference between living on Earth and living in other places in the universe, whether on physical or on astral levels, is the enormous variety of energies present on Earth. Moreover, this variety is not just present as a vast array of life forms or species, it is actually present within one single being, the human being. The human being is able to contain a spectrum of energies that has a wider range than any other being is capable of. You have within you the energy of a murderer and the saint, the energy of the child, the grown-up, the old, the energy of male and female, the energy of active and passive, the energy of the rational and the emotional, the energy of water, air, fire, and earth, etc. This may seem trivial or simply natural to you as a human being, but to any other being in the universe it is quite a feat. It is quite a feat to be human at all, without having done anything special. But the most unique quality of the human being is the ability to meld energies, which seemed incompatible before. Man was designed to not just hold all these different energies, but to be a mediator, a builder of bridges between them. The reason why spirit, or a god, or all that is, came up with the concept of the human being is that the universe had wound up in a situation of stasis. Consciousness, as it explored life outside of oneness, tended to try out different life forms on different planes and places in the universe. When a soul had experienced all there was to a particular life form, it left, in a sense of not incarnating in there anymore, and went on to other life forms which answered its particular needs. There was no need to transform energy while living in a particular life form. When you wanted to change, you switched bodies. This was not because souls were lazy or shallow. Most bodies, ranging in density from physical to astral, offered limited ranges of experience, and therefore limited opportunities to grow or transform while in the body. The body could not hold so many different energies. For example, if you lived on a water planet where you incarnated as a water being, this enabled you to experience the nature of water in all kinds of ways. The feel of being liquid, not fixed, flowing, moving is indeed wonderful. But when you wanted the experience of being fixed and unmovable, you needed to leave that body and live inside of a mountain for a while. Also, when you lived as galactic beings in search of power, you could not really change your consciousness within that body. The consequence of this limited or specialized range of experience within a certain body was that the created world of life forms got stuck. It could not grow or expand, and it got sort of locked into a sort of stasis. The unique power of the human being is the power to hold a wide array of energies and to bring them into a state of creative, not static balance. Actually, this power is equal to the ability to transform darkness into light, that is, the power of spiritual alchemy. That which brings the formerly opposing energies into a state of dynamic harmony is the Christed energy, the energy that maintains oneness in the face of duality. This is the same energy that transforms darkness, by accepting it and thereby allowing the fear to transform into joy. The Christed energy is the third energy, which unites by accepting. Its alchemical forces lies in its quality of being all-embracing, all-accepting, and fearless. You as human beings are the only being that has this ability for spiritual alchemy. Neither the plants, nor the animals, nor the angels, nor the dark lords have this power. All souls can experience what it is like to be light, what it is like to be dark, what it is like to be all the different kinds of beings that live in the universe. But they cannot experience what it is like to transform darkness into light while remaining in your present life form. They cannot imagine what it is like to change on inner levels in such a way that you create a different physical and spiritual reality for yourself as you go along. Souls which are incarnate in others and human life forms also create their reality and have free will, but they have less possibility to span highly different and even opposing states of consciousness while remaining in the same body or in the same human form. You, as humans, are bridge builders or spiritual alchemists, and that is what makes Earth and the human being unique. We now return to our tale of a Lightworker soul who felt anguished and regretful about their interference with the human being. They realized that on Earth a whole new game was being set up, a game full of promise, which they had done their best to smother for their own sake. They felt pain because of this. At some level, they also realized they had blocked their own spiritual journey towards light and true joy by their acts of selfishness. Also, when you awoke from your ego slumber, you saw that Earth was such a beautiful place, a green planet teeming with life. This stirred deep memories within you. You were present at the very beginning of life on Earth. Earth had not lost its innocence then. In those distant times before your fall into warrior consciousness, you were part of paradise on Earth, as the angelic being that nurtured and looked after life. You were angels in the Garden of Eden. Even if later on you acted out your dark side as galactic warriors, you also had, with regard to Earth, acted out light and pure aspect of yourself in ancient times, when you prepared the planet for the coming of the Earth souls. You contributed to the blossoming of the green planet, and at some level, you knew this when you came out of your warrior stage of consciousness. You knew you had been destroying that which you had nurtured and helped to create. When you realized the promise and the beauty of Earth, you felt the inner urge to go down there and restore what had been damaged. You incarnated into human bodies with the intention of bringing light and creating heart-based values in an environment that was essentially dominated by egotistical values. We want to expand a little on this motive of bringing light, because there is something to it that frequently causes confusion and misunderstanding within you. When you Lightworkers incarnated on Earth, you actually started an inner transformation process in which you would complete your own transition from ego-based to heart-based consciousness. You were on the road to fully release ego-based consciousness, and life on Earth provided you with the opportunity to deal with what was left of the ego-based energy within you. The energies you wished to come clean with you would meet in the very being you had manipulated and would now dwell within the human being within yourself. Your deepest motive for coming to Earth was to come to terms with your own inner darkness, and you agreed to meet this darkness within yourself as human beings. Although you often think you are here to help others or to help Mother Earth, the most fundamental reason you are here is to heal yourself. This is your true light work. All else is secondary. At the deepest level, your souls wish to take responsibility for the darkness they had spread. However, to take responsibility for your dark side is a solitary venture in principle. It does not involve others you need to help or cure. It involves only you. You will help others in the process, but this is a secondary effect. It is important to realize the right order of things here, since you have a tendency to be too diligent in helping others. This enthusiasm to help others often becomes a pitfall, since your energy gets entangled with the other person, and more often than not, you feel depleted and disappointed afterwards. Please remember, to give more than to receive is not noble or heart-based. It is simply a mistake. The mistake is that you think that you are in part responsible for someone else's situation or state of mind. This is not true. Everyone is responsible for their own happiness or misfortune, and this is indeed a blessing, as it provides everyone with the power to create and therefore to change their own reality. You are not here to fix other people or Mother Earth. You are here to heal the deep wounds within your own being. Please tend to this task, and all else will fall into place without any effort on your part. When you came to Earth and incarnated into human bodies, you were inclined to fight the energies you wished to overcome. At that stage, you were in a paradoxical situation. On the one hand, you knew you wanted something other than power, and you hated yourself for what you had done wrong before. But you were not free of that which you had hated in yourself. You were not free of ego dominance yet. When you came to Earth, you had the tendency to get upset by darkness, to get angry about it, and your reaction was to fight it. The paradox is that you wanted to battle egotistical energies through struggle, the very energy that you wished to let go of. You were as yet not aware of the true implications of a heart-based consciousness. When you observe from the heart, there is no battle between good and bad. The reality of the heart transcends both. The heart does not oppose darkness. Heart-based consciousness is founded upon acceptance of everything, of all it is. It is a type of consciousness that releases the idea that struggle will solve anything. Although you longed for a peaceful, non-struggling way of dealing with reality, you had no experience with actual living out this ideal. You were really in an in-between zone, a piece of no man's land before you enter a new realm of consciousness. So you started to make all kinds of mistakes, in the sense of falling back into ways of being that you wanted to let go of. You were anxious to change or convert anyone or any group who displayed ego-like behavior or embraced ego-based values. They, however, responded aggressively to you, oftentimes not even understanding what you were trying to convey to them. Lightworkers have been persecuted for centuries as witches, heathens, or political agitators. They seemed to be driven by ideals for which the world was not ready. They seemed different and would not fit in. They typically met with a lot of resistance. What happened here is that you switched into the role of victim after having played the role of offender for quite some time in the galactic realms. Your spiritual anger evoked angry responses from your environment, and you became the victim, experiencing humiliation, deep pain, and disempowerment. The trauma of being rejected and or cast out repeatedly in several lives has left scars on your soul. You ended up feeling disempowered and unwelcome. Many of you in this lifetime feel tired and homesick for a more loving and meaningful world. It is very important for you to realize that the victim role is just that, a role you play. It is one possible interpretation of the facts, but it is a narrow and distorted one. You are neither victim nor offender. You are the sole consciousness that has created roles for yourself to play for a while. You are not really the victim of a materially minded, selfish world. In fact, the encounters you had with aggressive, non-cooperative energies in many of your lifetimes simply mirrored back to you your own ties to ego-based consciousness, your own dependence upon it. If you seek results through struggle, you will receive the energy of struggle back to you. This is or was your own energy coming back to you, and that is the only meaning of karma. The tendency to fight evil is based upon the belief that evil is outside of you and must be banished from reality. The spiritual invitation to you lightworkers during all of your incarnations has always been to recognize and accept your own dark side and to understand its role and purpose. The deepest invitation is to forgive yourselves and find back your innocence. You are innocent and have always been so. Can you truly understand that? If you do, you will not want to change the world or fight injustice anymore. You will want to play, to have fun and enjoy every moment of your life and simply be who you are and share that with others. When the Lightworkers released the idea that you had to struggle for anything or anyone, you will no longer be opposed by the outer world, by society or other people in general for being different. You will not want to change anything, and therefore you will not encounter resistance. You will know that you are welcome, that your contribution to this reality is valuable, and that you are valued by others. When you have fully released ego-based consciousness, you will know you are exempt from persecution or outside threats. You will have gone beyond the roles of victim and persecutor. Your journey will have come full circle. You will have released your karmic burdens, and you will be totally free to create whatever you want. You are on the verge of birthing a new consciousness. This is a type of consciousness that has fully released the need to control or possess anything. It is free of fear. It is the Christ consciousness. When I, Jeshua, lived on earth, I wanted to tell you that spirituality is not about a war between light and dark. It is about finding a level of awareness that goes beyond good and bad, a place from which you can understand and accept all things. The kingdom of God is within. Everything you need is on the inside. Peace, joy, and tranquility are yours when you truly realize who you are, a divine being in physical expression. It is only when you realize that you are here to transform and heal yourself that things really start to change for you, and as a side effect for other people surrounding you. The world is what it is, and the highest thing you can do for it is to simply love it for what it is. Love and see the beauty of every single being that is traveling through this plane of reality. Many of you are moved by my energy, the energy of Jeshua or Jesus. This is because I am your kin. I was simply a lightworker unburdened by karmic ties, a lightworker in possession of a high level of self-understanding. You are touched by my energy because you know this is the energy you are moving toward. The energy of Christ is the energy of your own future self.